the average person in this country reads one book a year. The average CEO in this country reads 60 books a year. So you want to talk about the difference in income and pay and everything right there, that says it all. That's why the CEO gets paid 300 times more than the average worker, because they're more educated, they're personally developing more. Jim Rohn used to say, don't pursue success, don't chase success. It's like chasing butterflies. You'll never catch it. What you do is you attract success by the person that you become, and you become that attractive, successful person by personally developing. So I think Stephen Covey in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People talked about sharpening the saw as one of the habits. He says the saw is basically your mind, your personality, your staying on top of your industry, So you got to keep that saw sharp in order to perform. Imagine somebody's trying to cut down a tree with a dull blade, and you go up to them and you say, hey, I think that saw needs to be sharpened a little bit. They'll probably tell you, oh, I don't have time to sharpen the saw. Well, that's it right there. That's why people say they don't read. They say they don't have time for that. It's like you don't have time not to read. Yeah. You've got to develop yourself. You've got to, whether it's watching videos, listening to audiobooks, reading. There's so much information out there. On the internet, you can find PDFs and audiobooks and things like that for free. There's no excuses not to be staying on top of your craft and staying on top of your industry, whatever that may be, and just reading these books. Are already written. It's the guidelines right there. That's the guideline to becoming a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, whatever you want to be. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it better, Jay. I certainly agree. And actually, another quote that Jim Rohn says, he always says, "Seldom does one's income ever surpass their level of personal development." So seldom does one's income ever surpass their level of personal development. So go out there and personal develop, and then the income will follow. So actually, I was reading a book the other day called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, Halelrod. Hal Elrod. I recommend it to anybody. The most important thing, we'll save this for another Periscope live event, but we'll talk about a morning routine. So The Morning Miracle by Hal Elrod, he actually mentions that if you were to read 10 pages every day for a full year, you would have read 3,650 pages, because there's 365 days in a year, times 10, 3,650 pages in 1 year. He also mentioned that the average book length in the United States is 200 pages. So if you take 3,650, which is 10 pages a day, just 10 pages a day, that's all you have to read to accumulate 3,650 pages in a year, and you divide that by the average book length, which is 200 pages, you have read 18 books in 1 full year. And he just mentioned that the average human being reads 1 book a year, compared to the average CEO, which reads 60. So just by reading 10 pages a day,
you're setting yourself up 18 times better, 18 times more success than the average person.
Think about that. A lot of people